The people out there are going to be really curious about the Brazil prison, and they're like, "Can you take us in there? Like, what first day going in? You know, is it shock to your system? What you seeing? How the guards treating you? What's the food like? What's your cell like?"
Well, I'm not the average inmate, so everybody's looking after me. When they first pinched me, when they come with the army, they came. Everybody, it was all over Associated Press, and the morning papers was King of New York, King of Crime of New York, and they got my picture on the headlines all over, King of Crime of New York, and Mafia, gangster, street boss, and the article started in magazines around the world. And so when I walk in the penitentiary, the first place they bring me is an Interpol. It looked like an abandoned building, actually. And if I had to think any different, I'd be lying. I thought they were going to hit me as far as I wasn't going back to jail. I thought they were going to try to kill me because I don't know their country. I'm not really sure what's going on. They just brought me into an abandoned building. There's nobody there, and they're telling me this is prison. But there's nobody there. There's no lights. There's nothing. And they're bringing me up the stairs, and they have me belly chained, chained to the wrist, chain around my, the upper body down. So I'm kind of like, if you watch one of these Hannibal Lecter movies or The Silence of the Lambs, they got me like that. They exaggerate how dangerous I am in the papers. And actually on the arrest warrant, they have me as a champion jiu-jitsu fighter and a boxer. I'm a boxer, but I'm not a great jiu-jitsu fighter. I've trained for a year or so, a year and a half. I'm not that good. But that's how they're treating me. They're scared to get too close to me, and they're moving me with 6, 7 guys at a time. And they bring me to this one room. It's abandoned. Above me is a military cop with a machine gun. And they throw me in a room with no toilet, nothing, and put me down there. And I stayed there for about a day, day and a half. Piss shit in my shirt. I had to rip my shirt open. And guys like Go will tell you that mosquitoes that you guys can't believe. It's like you're in a jungle. And I had no choice to take my shirt off, which I didn't want to do because of the mosquitoes. And I had to shit in it. And the other half, I had to use it to wipe. And, I'm looking and I'm thinking to myself, are these guys looking to clip me? Are they looking to torture me? Are they looking to really bring me to a prison? I'm really not sure. So your anxiety level, and I'm trying to see my way how I can get out.
You'd be thinking clip, wouldn't you, really?
Yeah, without a doubt. And I started doing, above me is the bars, and I do a lot of pull-ups being in jail my whole life. So I started doing pull-ups to try to let go of some of the anxiety and push-ups. And eventually I lay down and fall asleep on some shit, piss, whatever's there, bugs, and I end up getting a body infection all over me, and I was welting up, so I'm not really sure what that was. And the next day that developed, and they brought me to another prison, and then they brought me to a medical facility that was primitive, and they brought me to Ari Franco, where I was the first one out of our crew of guys that was in Ari Franco, and I seen the way they walked me through. Everybody obviously knew who I was already. People were yelling all over the jail when I walked in.
So they're yelling respect, or are people now thinking they can extort you because you got money?
No, respect. Yeah, it was even the guards were showing me respect when I came in. The paper said it was very dangerous, and they knew that I was known to be a killer. And in jail, obviously, that's a respect thing. And,
of course, yeah.
And most of the guys looked out. As soon as I walked in my cell, it was, will tell you, Klaus will tell you, Justin, Tim, these guys, there's 12 bunks in a cell there. And one of them is used for food. So there's 11. And there's probably 50, 60 guys in a cell, overcrowded. And I walked in, and the first thing I said is, somebody's giving up a cell. Giving up a bunk. And they started arguing. I said, I'll give you 2 minutes to figure out which one he is, but I'm taking a bunk. So they...
Did you get the bottom one at that?
Yeah, no, I didn't want the bottom. Actually, I said, in Brazil, you can't take a bottom bunk because there's rats all over the jails.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't want the bottom.
Higher up.
And I actually liked the bottoms if I was in American prison, but
yeah,
there I insisted on the top bunk and I insisted on the back. And my agent, David Nash, and, we were speaking about this, and I told them I want one of the back bunks. And they said, why? And, people don't understand this because they're the old style bars. So if you're in one of those front bunks, they'll spit alcohol on you and light you on fire.
Yeah.
So you don't stay in those front bunks. Those are the worst bunks to take. And in these jails, there's riots all the time, and there's fires all the time, and there's guards actually if you look up some of the stuff where they threw firebombs in it, killed about 14, 16 inmates in one of the cells. So I know this because I've been around a little bit, and I was living in Brazil, so I know a couple of guys, and they told me the situation in the prisons there. And so I had a little heads up on it.
Big thing in America is to go past with the boiling hot water with the sugar in it and swill you.
Yeah.
It's just like...
Yeah, that's the United States jail, same.
Yeah.
So what was the food like then?
Rice and beans in a room like 2 or 3 times the size of this. And so it sits there and, you know, listen, the human conditions there as it is known to be, you know, horrendous. So you can imagine that food, rice and beans, pre-made in those things, how many bugs, how many rats, mice are in it. And when they serve it to us, the first couple of times I used to look at the food and at the beginning before these guys got there. But when these guys get there, I tell them the same thing when they got there. Listen, ignore some of those bugs and just start eating it because that's what we got. And at times, you know, when we could get to some gods, there's times that there's weeks it's good, a day is good, and then there's months when it's not. So when we can get to them, we would get some outside food. At times we'd get pizza and McDonald's and whatever else we can get our hands on and buy and liquor and whatever else. But on a regular fucking basis, we're eating bugs and beans.
Are you best getting it straight away, being first to get it, or are you best just... Or is it all the same?
At the beginning, I didn't want to eat it the first couple of days, and there was a Brazilian guy that I got close to in there, and he was in jail with us. And if you see some pictures, we look like we're concentration camp guys.
Yeah.
Very skinny, and you can see how bad your pallor is on your skin color. And, you know, he told me at that time, John, you got to eat this shit, whether you like it or not. And then, you know, honestly, it's like anything else. You adjust, you eat it. And I didn't even think about it anymore. I started eating it like it was nothing. And, you know, you're shitting and pissing on the floor in a hole. And the biggest thing that you really never adjust to is the mosquitoes. The mosquitoes just fucking tear you up day and night. And they have dengue and guys are dying from it. So, you know, that's the dangerous part of more that I think than being, you know, the chance of getting killed in there is those mosquitoes.
Soft toilet paper is out of the question.
So if you want, hey, believe it or not, I just vacationed back in Brazil for 2 weeks, and people said you're fucking nuts. I said, well, I planned on going to the beach this time, not to prison. So.
Yeah.
To get food smuggled in, was that guards or visitors?
Yeah, everybody. You know, at the time I was pretty wealthy. Some of my guys that were with us, we aligned together. And we did everything together between buying smuggled phones, bribing guards, hurting guys. We did it as a unit, and that's what made us survive. We didn't do it as an individual. We were real, I got to tell you something, we're very loyal to each other, and you can see it's 12 and 15 years later for some of us, and we're still together, and we're still talking and staying in touch. And we laugh at some of the stories that we hear from people telling bullshit stories about a jail. They have no idea how dangerous and bad it was.
Well, you have got that for life now, haven't you?
What's that?
You're bonded for life.
Oh, I thought you said
your brothers for life. Now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I guess, you know, I talk about the military, every country, and, you know, I got a lot of respect for the military, and every time I talk on a show, I bring them up because I have massive respect for guys that, you know, put their life on the line, whether they see one day action or never see action. They have the chance of losing their life if they do see any action. So I think they understand as a brotherhood. And outside of the mafia, this is the real brotherhood of guys in prison, where the loyalty really is there because we survive off each other, and we're never going to forget what we went through together.
And you do feel bonded for life when you go through such an intense environment.
Yeah, because you talk. We watch guys die left and right. You know, somebody tells you, you know, we watched a kid that was charged with blowing up a bus with people on it. I don't really think the kid did it. They put him in a single cell. And they hung the kid, said he hung himself, and they left him there for 4 days or a week. It stunk in there. And, you know, we're used to this. We watched a couple of guys get macheted to death before that. And the guys weren't breathing well because we're sub below and the air is bad. And they died suffering of oxygen, not be able to breathe because they had, you know, medical problems prior to that. So we watch a lot of deaths. And then during the riots, you know, you're watching 12 and 16 and 40 guys get killed. And, you know, it's no joke when you know the riots go off and there's fires all over the prisons, and they're coming for you. So we learned to protect each other, and we learned to listen. We're like brothers, family forever now.
They mixed all the prisoners together too. Cause you had your paedophiles with your burglars and everything else, everything all in one.
Yeah, I mean, there was times when they would shake us down. They put 1,000 guys in a space where honestly you could probably squeeze in 200,
Yeah.
and they'd keep us there in 110, 115 degrees. No lights, pitch black. We're all in there naked, and you got to piss and shit. And we try to, as a group, we all decide that let's piss and shit in the corner
Yeah.
where we keep it somewhat sanitary, and there's nothing to wipe. There's no way to wipe yourself. And, those were some of the situations we were out in the yards. They put us out in the yard full of dogs, rocks, military police would have guns to our heads and leave us out in the sun. Was, some days in Brazil, it's 120 degrees. We'd stay there, 15 hours without moving. So if you're pissing and shitting right where you're sitting, and I got to tell you, I don't even know how the fuck these military guys stayed, because they're in all black, with masks, with hats, and I mean, they had to stay out there too, just like us. At least we were naked. I mean, so I don't really get it, but it's a different world, and it's a different system, and it's dangerous, and we put ourselves in a dangerous situation. So, as brothers, I mean, I was friends with Klaus for years, since the early '90s. So it was just the same guy that helped me go on a run and survive. It's a coincidence we ended up in the same prison. But then when we meet guys like and Justin and Tim and some of the other guys, Milos, he's dead, and Camilo and Max, these guys, we all stay in touch with each other. And, we have a real good bond with each other. Most of us are very tight with each other.
People say coincidence. I always think that things that happen for a reason. It was meant to be like that.
Yeah, you know what? You look at life, and people ask me all the time, "Well, you suffered a lot. You've been stabbed up, battered. You've been in these prisons and stuff." And you could take a bad situation, a terrible situation, at which I was in, most of my life, or most of my adult life, and you could do something positive about it. And I started talking to kids and talking some of the pitfalls of not following it, and some of the positive is to have like brother friends the way we do now, and we end up being friends for life. No matter where he is, we can reach out to each other and try to help each other. So
that's the main positive thing you've got out of it, isn't it?
Yeah,
and you can help other people.
You're trying to do a positive thing with each other and other
Pay
people.
Kids. Forward.
I mean, kids reach out to me from every. I'm in every country. I probably did about 20 magazines now around the world, and people talk to me, and the parents call me all the time about helping their children. There's a kid here, Sam Greenfield. I was hoping I'd see him before I left. He was involved with a gang, and he was a fighter, and he just received a reward from the UK for helping children. So, those are the good things that happen out of my past, out of a bad life.
Yeah.
You help a kid that's really helping a lot of kids. And I commend his father, really, because his father reached out to me originally years ago. And his father was one of those fathers that really cared about his son and his future. And, he wasn't a father that gave up on him. So, you got to give, some kudos to some of these parents that do the right thing and really, try for their children.
Because a lot of them just give up, don't they? Just let them do whatever they're going to do.
Yeah, nobody comes from a perfect situation.
No.
So, I didn't come from one, and I love my father, but the way I was raised and the area I was raised, we all can have excuses for our life, but I don't believe in making excuses for yourself or your life. Just move on, do something positive, change it, and nobody's got a perfect situation, not even a rich kid.
No.
There's a rich kid that parents aren't around, and people say, "Oh, they're rich. I don't feel bad for him." But he never got some love, maybe, and he was around, and he was alone most of the time. So he reaches out in a different way, maybe uses drugs, or he gets himself jammed up, and he's doing things that maybe he, in a normal situation. But nobody has that perfect normal life. I think that's bullshit.
Even if you didn't have a penny, you're a much more wiser person. You've lived a life, and more than most people, you know what I mean? It's like it's something that you've done, and it's an accomplishment, isn't it? You've been through shit, and you've come out of it, and you're looking good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I try to take my vitamins. Nah, you know what? It's your attitude. I think it's a positive attitude, and it's no secret I don't like the Gotti, family. Gotti Jr. Excuse me, but the Gotti family. Some of them, I said this recently. I like them. Some of them I really like, and people got a misunderstanding of what went on in the public, because they get bits and pieces and they get it from different media outlets that spin a story, and but there's family members of the Gottis I really respect and like, and I feel bad for some of them lost their life. This Joey Gotti took his own life, and his mother was a great woman. His sister was a really nice girl, and So I talk about some of them, and Pete Gotti's daughter, Linda Gotti, is a nice girl, and she ended up testifying against some Gambino guys, and people had a lot to say about her. This is a normal, everyday citizen. She shouldn't be dragged into a life that her father was in.
No.
And, so people got a misconception of who they're calling a rat and who they're not. And I'm big on the Gotti Jr. because of what he did when I was in those penitentiaries. He went with the United States government, and he became what they call Queen of the Day. He called them up and asked, can I meet you? And I want to give information as long as you can't charge me with anything. So these are the things of misconceptions when they're talking about, well, do I dislike Gotti Jr.? Yeah, because he's weak, and he flipped that story around. And then they talk bad about Linda Gotti, who's their first cousin, and she shouldn't be called anything bad. This is a normal, everyday girl that went and gave information like most citizens do. She's not a gangster. She didn't sign up to be a gangster. And her father's not a gangster, and he's got a life sentence because he was trying to help his brother, John Gotti Sr. So, and he's actually a decent guy. He was a sanitation worker. He wasn't a gangster. So, do I dislike the guy? No.
When there's women involved in the crime too, you find the police will go straight away. They'll go for the woman, and they'll start using like, you're never going to see your kids again. You're never going to, and no matter what, a woman's going to put her kids first.
Well, I've talked about this prior, but never in the UK. When you become a made member, you take an oath that you're going to take this thing, meaning Cosa Nostra, before your own family.
Yeah.
And who the fuck is going to believe that? So they're starting off being straightened out to a lie. Because at least say that your kids are going to come first and then Cosa Nostra comes second.
Of course.
Because I don't know any idiot that's not going to save their son, daughter, child, baby before they save me. So I wouldn't even buy that. If you try to sell me that and told me, listen, John, no matter what, I'm loyal to you, I'll die for you, I might believe that. But when you tell me you'll let your kid die before me, I know you're full of shit. Mm-hmm. Right? So we understand that. We're not dummies. So I think that alone shows you it's built on bullshit. And that's the problem why it doesn't last the way people believe that the Cosa Nostra should.
When did you first hear the Gotti name, and what did it mean to you?
I was a kid, and Albert Ruggiano's father was going to prison, and Gotti Sr. was coming up, and he had, a big name. I mean, he was a big name, gangster, famous, and the media built him up to be something that was legendary. And he wasn't legendary what everybody believed. I mean, as a kid, I looked up to him too. I thought he was, the greatest thing around. I followed him. I looked up, I wanted to copy him. And then I understood as I was getting older and more experienced in the street, his arrogance is going to bring down everybody. And him looking for fans in the media is not what a gangster does. Fat Andy Ruggiano was a gangster. He was quiet. He didn't look for the media. He didn't want anybody to know who he was. And the media needed to build somebody up to that status. He wanted to be built up to that status. And he wasn't that, to that status. But I got to give him credit. He was a tough guy. He was just, I ain't saying he was a killer with his own hand. He wasn't. He never was. But his downfall was his ego and the way he portrayed, his image to the world, which destroyed everybody. And really his son, with his behavior now, between, Queen of the Day and between this nonsense he does and the internet and this kid shit, he's single-handedly ruining his father's legendary name with the way he behaves. Because really that name had a status, whether, it's accurate or not, doesn't matter. He had that name, and the kid is bringing that name down to he destroyed it, and he's continued to destroy it with some of the shit he does.
It's disrespectful, isn't it?
Yeah, he's listen, the father was what he was, whether you like him or not.
Yeah.
But the son acts like a cunt. I don't know if I could say that on this thing, but
Yeah, you're fine.
We're grown men, gangsters, whether we're good at it, bad at it, full of shit. Whether he's a rat, he ain't a rat, but act like a man one way or another. Don't play with internet and Google and having your sister and this one run around on thing and calling people names. It's childish, number one. It has nothing to do with the street world. And I don't think any gangster sat down with his sister and talked. And from what I understand, he's just writing under his sister's name. It's actually him writing. So who the fuck knows? They joke around now in New York and everyone, they call him the Diaper Don now because he's a spoiled bratty kid. So I think that he's destroying whatever was left of, if anybody believed in what his father was, at the time. But his father was one of the shortest running bosses ever. He's boss for 4 years.
What was your first meeting with him like? With Gotti, like?
Again, I was a kid, so I looked up to him. I wanted to be like him, and I was a little scared, a little intimidated from him, obviously. I'd take an order from him, do whatever he wanted.
How did you get to meet him that very first time?
First time I was at the club on 98th Street, 101st Avenue. We have Bergen Hunt and Fish Club, it's called. Around the corner from that, there was another club. It was a cafe. It was known to be his brother's club. Richie wasn't a made guy at the time. And then across the street, right across the street from the Bergen, was another little club that Senior used. So I was over there talking to him about gambling, sports business. Willie Boy Johnson was his partner in the sports business out in Brooklyn. And at the time, I met a equipment manager for the New York Mets, this guy Joey DeLuca, who had the New York Mets gambling. And they started calling action into me where I couldn't handle that kind of action. They were betting hundreds of thousands and a week and back in the 80s. So I brought it to John through the son, and Senior sent me over to Willie Boy Johnson, and I became partners with him on a half sheet. And that's really what really catapulted me, to a little different status at the very beginning. And I guess that was about 83, 84.
And how old were you then?
I was about 21 years old.
So you get a cut it on that? Sorry to interrupt.
Go for it.
Yeah, I get 50% sheet on it. They lay out. So if I lose 200,000, Gotti lays it out for me with Willie Boy, the father, Senior Gotti, lays it out, and I go into black, and until I keep the action coming in. If I make 200,000, they take their 100,000. I get my 100 grand, and my other partner on the other end was his son. So I had to play a little middle there between father and son, and some of the stuff I was doing for the father and the son were a little different. The father didn't want the son to know things. So it was kind of like a tightrope or whatever way I was walking, and as things were moving along with the Gotti family.
Yeah.
So as you made more money, did they give you more responsibility?
Yeah, I mean, as things went on, I became, personal Gotti's personal enforcer, bodyguard, whatever word you want to use, professional killer.
So did you just jump from earner to bodyguard enforcer, or was the steps?
Nah, I kind of did it on a quick level because I started hurting guys. Initially, and Jeannie Gotti was partners with Johnny Koenig, and Johnny Koenig I had a lot of respect for. I still do. I like him. He was one of Gotti's enforcers and big money makers, and he did a 50-year bid, which he had to do 27 years on it for heroin with Jeannie. And his brother was Charles, that weak guy, different guy, became a junkie, shooting up, smoking crack, and didn't have no business belonging to mob. So this is some of the reason why the mob downfall. But Jeannie Gotti actually, he was my cellmate in 1997 in prison. Most of his guys are John's guys. So, and on the street, I like Jeannie Gotti. He was a good guy. When he went to jail, became a different type of guy, and we went after him in prison.
What do you mean by that?
I heard his best friend, Ali Calabrese, they're going to talk about him in The Irishman. They say he was a gangster's gangster. He was around the Cleveland boss. Me and 4 guys, we gave him a bad beating, and after that, we gave Jeannie a little bit of a beating. This is a guy that's supposed to know Cosa Nostra, and he put a black gang of guys on to Joe Gambino to try to shake him down and extort him. And, I happen to know those guys also. I had a little meeting with one of the guys, Warren, from this black crew. Nice guy, gentleman, boxer. And we talked, and he said, we had no idea what's going on here. We'll get to the bottom. It was some of his guys. And we cleared it up. Once we cleared it up, we gave Ali some beating because the message went through Ali. And Danny, me, a guy named Lee, another guy, Nino, we set him up in the early mornings by the gym, and we rocked his boat real good. And, then we went after Jeannie. And these are things why Cosa Nostra doesn't work, because you got guys like this that break in a level. Now, Joe Gambino, that was with me in prison, was a gentleman and a nice guy, and he understood Cosa Nostra, and whether you like gangsters or you agree with the life, but the guy was a gentleman, that's my point. And he did his time quietly, minded his own business. And there's no way, it's like us stepping to, in jail, everything's racial and it's city bound and it's New York and it's Philly, and the blacks in New York ride with the white Italians, and, they don't go against you. From DC, they ride together. So we all have our hooks, and, we understand jail. So we don't go step to a black crew and try to shake anybody down. If we do, we're in the wrong. We understand that. And Warren was a sharp, tough guy, street guy, and he understood that. And so they stepped away. They didn't step away out of fear. They stepped away out of respect and courtesy. But what Jeannie Gotti did was, if this was 1980, 1990, he came home from jail, they should have cut him up in pieces and killed him for what he did. But we destroyed his time after that. He never did time again like a man in prison.
So for people watching this who don't know who Joe Gambino is, how did he rise up? How did he get into power?
Well, Tommy Gambino's, it's a cousin, and Tommy Gambino was also in prison with me. He just passed away, natural causes. And again, Tommy Gambino was another guy, very wealthy, a businessman, a gentleman. Didn't talk, didn't look for trouble, just did his time, and very well respected. As these guys aren't killers; they're just nice guys. And Tommy was Carlo Gambino's son, and Joe was a cousin. And they do correct time. There's ways of doing time in prison, and there's guys that can do good time, guys do bad time. I mean, maybe, listen, I give Jeannie benefit of doubt for one thing. He could have did 9, 12 years, him and Johnny Kinnick, when they sold heroin. And they took a 50-year bid on the chin out of stupidity because they listened to their brother John, his brother John Gotti Sr. They wouldn't allow him to take a plea where they would have did about 8 years. So if this is about looking out for your brother and looking out for your soldiers, you're supposed to tell him to take the 8. But instead, he was worried about his image, that they're selling drugs, and he made him do 50. So to me, that's not a leader.
Were the Gambinos bumping heads with any other crime families when you were an enforcer?
Listen, you always have disputes between families, but it's usually, for the most part, it's worked out by sitting down and having sit-downs and working out, because this life is not about killing each other. It's about making money with each other. And there's good relationships between all the crews. It's not what everybody thinks. The wars start like over the years, the wars started where guys were clipping our guys left and right because we killed Paul Castellano unsanctioned. Gotti caused that. And as our guys are getting killed one after another, we're not killing anybody back. So this is one of the reasons I said he was a soft leader. We're getting uncontested killings, and we're not contesting them. And there's wars during the Colombo days, wars because they split for factions within the family. And Joey Scopo Sr. was another nice guy. Senior Gotti put him in there to take over one faction. He got killed. We didn't do anything about it. But Joey was best friends with Jeannie Gotti growing up together. So that's why they put him in that position. But usually it's that the money situation's cut up properly. The unions are cut up properly. And it's everyday business is about any other business. It's about making money and without killing and without wars. But, like anything else, guys step over the line, do the wrong thing. And in this life, you lose your life for that.
Did you need sort of permission for taking a made man out?
To kill somebody? Do we need permission? Yeah, you're supposed to go from, listen, we all do it. I did it. You're clipping guys. Jimmy Burke and his son, Frankie Burke, had a situation. He told me it was for his father from an old heroin deal, and me and him went out in Brooklyn, and we killed 2 guys, and I did it with him. And he wasn't with our family. Jimmy got life already. Frankie was a good friend of mine. He's dead. He got killed too. But I went and did it unsanctioned. Frankie asked me to take the ride with him. I took it, and then, I did the work with him because he was a friend. But otherwise, if I get caught doing a piece of work, I'm supposed to be killed for it. I understood that.
Yeah.
You said we took Paul Castellano out. Were you part of that crew? And can you describe how he was taken out?
I wasn't part of the hit. I was a young guy, but I was privy to it at the time. Senior again used his friend Angelo Ruggiero as a scapegoat because they got caught on tapes talking about selling coke, and Senior used the excuse of Angelo, and he shelves him later on, but he didn't shelve him. He actually promoted him after the Paul Castellano hit. So that story is bullshit too. He used that as an excuse to go hit Paul. And at the time, Paul had a couple of cases. It wasn't a sanctioned hit from the other families. And what it causes a big rift, but they hit Paul in front of Sparks Steakhouse. I think Sparks on 46th Street. I just did a show there last year. But when they hit him, there was a meeting there, and it was to discuss what was going on in the drug business and what happened with Jeannie and Johnny and these guys. And when he gets out of the car, him and Tommy Bellotti, there's a setup of guys to kill, to make sure Paul doesn't leave that scene. Backup car, it was a backup car at that time, was Sammy Gravano and John Gotti. And Sammy brought his gun, but John never brought a gun to that show. So this is the typical of really what goes on. And this is the typical why people hear me constantly speaking up for Sammy Gravano. And so people understand. At the time when I was being raised in the Gambino family, I wasn't particularly close to Sammy. I seen him once in a while. I said hello to him. And I even was chastised by Gotti Sr. at one time not to get too friendly with him. I didn't understand at the time. But I guess Sr. didn't want me to get close to him because maybe eventually he wanted me to hit him, kill him if he wanted. So he didn't want me to have that feelings for him, so maybe I wouldn't do it. Or I would tip him. And, I wasn't schooled enough at that time. I was a young kid when I first met them. But I look at Sammy as I've said it over and over again. If he wasn't betrayed, it would have been a different era. He was betrayed, completely betrayed. And anybody who listens to the history and follows it, and forget about the United States, this is a different country. So maybe everybody would understand, listen, this guy got completely betrayed. He didn't do anything wrong.
We were in prison with his son, weren't we?
Yeah, so we had an ecstasy trafficking operation in Arizona, and Sammy DeBall was out there. That was their operation. And Wildman was on the chain gang one day with Gerard Gravano. Yeah, so Sammy got nailed a couple of years before us. So Gerard was telling us, all the prosecutor's tricks and all that kind of stuff. I've read his book Underboss as well, so I've come to be familiar with his side of the story. Before, just going back to Paul briefly though, is it true that he was in a replica of the White House, prancing around in his silk pajamas, losing touch with the foot soldiers? So that weakness was shown, kind of.
I don't agree with that.
No, is that
I mean,
myth?
listen, everybody's going to have their own opinion. I think he was. Listen, Paul killed more guys as a boss than any of the other guys did, more than John. So,
wow.
And John didn't kill anybody with his own hand either. So that's bullshit if anybody knows the stories, because somebody just sent me a message again. I heard he did this. Well, you heard wrong. You're hearing bullshit stories. When they killed McBratney, he was there. He didn't kill him. They didn't even do it right. They couldn't get him out of the bar, and Galliano had no choice but to shoot him in the bar. He wasn't the shooter. But, listen, Paul was a big earner. So when Carlo handed it over, I don't think it was just because of family reasons. He understood the relationship with Genevieve's family. He understood the money relation and the power that money brought to the Gambino family. And these guys are businessmen. And so the idea is to make money. It's not to kill. I made a lot of mistakes because I was shooting a lot and killing a lot, but that was also my job for a lot of guys. So, as an organization, if you don't have to kill guys and you can make money, that's the idea. And Paul, I believe, was he was a strong leader. Guys will make the excuse he was greedy, he was taking money. Well, 99% of these guys are sheep. There's 1%, I've said it over and over again, of guys like me making money and killing. And you got some guys that just make money, and then the other guys that just kill. But you shouldn't be straightening out all these guys because they're somebody's son. They've never seen a fucking day on the street.
If he's killing though and not making money, what's the sense in that?
Well, and that's the problem, because you got 98% of these guys are deadbeats. They ain't able to earn. They just follow you that makes money, or follows me that's killing guys and making money. And so,
you got to expect to pay.
Yeah, and so they're crying about Paul or somebody, but go out and earn.
Exactly. Yeah.
So when you got guys like Gerard, I don't know him personally and meet him personally. I talked to him on the phone plenty of times, so people that know who he is. Gerard's Sammy's son, but he's also a gentleman. He's a quiet guy. He's low spoken. He's low key, and the father raised him right, actually. And and this is the point. A lot of these guys raised their sons. An example: Patty Catalano was a heroin mover, and his son opened his big mouth to me one day. He thought I gave a fuck who his father was. I tied him up. I put him on lighter fluid all over, and I beat him up, and I was going to put him on fire. I mean, no one gives a fuck who your father is. You're going to respect somebody if you're a gentleman and if he's a tough guy. And if you're a tough guy and not being a gentleman, somebody eventually is going to kill you too.
So with Paul gone, the different factions of the Gambinos scramble for the leadership?
No, it wasn't scrambled. It was, it was a coup, and Gotti had it arranged. And he awarded himself the position. But the problem is he wasn't capable to run in that position. He wasn't an earner. I just recently did a show, and the guy asked me, it was Gotti, will you tell me you're a better earner than Gotti? And I should have answered that a little different. I'm going to say, Gotti fucker couldn't earn 2 cents. Yeah, I was a 10 times better earner than him. But his guys were earners. There's a difference. His guys were bringing in all kinds of money from heroin, construction. He couldn't. He never made a penny from anything. Sammy made the construction money. Guys like Johnny Koenig made the heroin money. Guys like Mark Ryder. But John himself, he wasn't capable. He was capable of running a gang. He wasn't capable of running a mob. And it was a big mistake, him coming into position.
So if Gotti actually never killed anyone, what gives him the right to take that position?
Because he had killers around him. He had serious guys around him. Guys like Johnny Koenig was a killer. Tony Roach was a killer. Willie Boy Johnson, although he was doing what John Gotti Jr. was doing, meeting the government queen of the day, informant, was a tough guy killer. He had guys that were killers, no doubt. And that's what made him strong, because he aligned himself around some serious shooters and earners. But him particularly, if you follow the history of him when he was younger, he couldn't even hijack a truck right. So and that's the truth about the guy. But I give him credit for other things. The guy maneuvered people. He did do that. He put himself in a position. He knew when to take opportunities. He took it. He surrounded himself with guys like Sammy Gravano and Frankie DeCicco. But when people see the history of this and they don't understand the mob, when they kill Paul Castellano, there's nobody to contest it. There's Peter Castellano, who's not a tough guy. He shows up 2 weeks later to play cards at our club because he's not a tough guy. The older guy is Joe Gallo. He's an old man. Tommy Gambino doesn't want no part of that. He's a gentleman. He's a multimillionaire himself. He's not a gangster, a hardcore guy like that. He's just a nice guy. So who's going to contest this murder? He's got Frankie Loke in the Bronx on his side. He's got Frankie DeCicco. So Gotti does make some right moves. He aligns himself with all the young guys that are tough and the guys that have the power, like Frankie DeCicco and Sammy Gravano in Brooklyn and Staten Island and Frankie in the Bronx. Nobody can test it within our family. The problem he was going to have is Vic Amuso with the Lucchese family and Gas Pipe and the Chin with the West Side. And these guys were going to hit Gotti. No doubt if he doesn't go to jail, he's going to end up dead. It's just a matter of time. And they blow up a car, and he's lucky he isn't in the car. It was the wrong guy who was in the car. Was in the car. And guys are getting caught on tape. Bobby Manning gets caught on tape trying to hit Gotti, and Gotti's going to get hit. The FBI goes to his house once or twice and warns him. We got on tape. We heard you're going to get hit. Gotti acts like he's not worried about it, but he was very worried about it. And it was only a matter of time before they hit him. And because of the way he carried the media around him, it was so hard to get near him. And I think that's one of the things he purposely did. He understood the media around him is almost like having law enforcement around him, which law enforcement did come around him because of the way he behaved.
It's his blanket of protection, isn't it?
Yeah. And, so the media is for guys that are not active, not for an active boss.
Yeah.
And so he destroyed what Cosa Nostra was. When you talk about Andy Ruggiano, you're talking about guys who don't even know who he is, right? You guys don't know who he is. Nobody knows who he is, but he was one of the most powerful bosses around our area. And Gotti just stepped into his position because Andy went to jail. Later on, he comes home, he gets sick, he dies right away. But these are the guys that, if you're going to make movies about or do shows about, it's got to be about somebody like him. Guys like Robert, Angles, people don't know who he is. He's a guy that got away from the life and he preaches now. But these are tough guys from the street that were quiet. And he never became a made guy, became a associate, but he was known, really known on the street. So you get guys like him and you look back and you say, if you're going to follow this life's about being quiet, making money, being a gentleman, just what you said earlier, and trudge along a little bit low key, and you can last.
Yeah.
When you go out like Gotti did, of course you're not going to last. You last 4 years. The public, looks at him because the media built something up that's really not true. That doesn't exist. But it's probably the single worst thing that happened to the Gambino family ever. That Paul Castellano getting killed.
You're going to get haters too, aren't you? They see that you've got the money, you got that. So they're going to start telling stories about you. They're going to try and bring you down or whatever. They'll try it anyway. They can't they? If they can't physically come and get you, they're going to try and do it some other way.
Well, you get this kid shit now because, it's a different era. You got cameras all over the place and you got guys on Google, again, like a bitch. Who does this stuff? Really, this is for kids. This is for girls to show their ass, to play around and flirt, and not for gangsters or legendary names, whether they're correct for being legendaries. you at one time, whether I like it or not.
Well, it makes a mockery of it, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, I mean, whether you like it or not, Gotti Jr. became the acting boss of the Gambino family. Do you imagine that he plays on like a bitch on these things? I mean, doesn't he look at himself and say, Jesus Christ, I'm embarrassing the fuck out of myself and my father's name. And his father's got to be doing tumble souls in that fucking grave. I mean, he's got to say to himself, what the fuck did I raise?
One of we gangsters who don't even go out the house, just on the laptop.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I tell everyone, I'm not on Instagram, I'm not on Google for years. These idiots are arguing with somebody under my name that ain't me. So, and I said, well, you'll hear them say, well, they got to mention why would I mention their name? They do a movie and they get 300 people watching it because it's nonsense.
Yeah.
People aren't stupid. You can talk to somebody and they can see through who's bullshit and who ain't bullshitting.
Of course.
Guys in prisons with me, like these guys, know I'm aggressive in jails. They see me stab guys. They see me, they know what I was about in prison and they know what I was about in the street. So, and I tell kids the truth. I can take my glasses off and I tell everybody, I've said it on a lot of shows, I cried my eyes out a lot. I mean, that's reality. I'm a human being. I don't care how many people I hurt or how many times physically I got hurt. Mentally, there's a different pain. So when you want to you be honest with people, you got to be honest with them. You guys are in jail, you understand it. There's emotions that has nothing to even do with you sometimes. It has to do with your family. There's suffering. There's loss of life, not your own life, others. So, reality of this life is a lot of pain in it. And
I've cried myself to sleep, man.
Of course. I know the biggest killers. I got guys around me for years that were killers and friends of mine, big killers, tough guys, shot up, this, that. And I watch and I held them in my arms for them and tell them it's okay for things that were going on while they were in prison with their family or somebody's dying or their son got killed. Or hey, there's a million things that go on in jails.
Things you can't control. As soon as you know that you get a call from the reverend, it's not good news.
Yeah, it's not good. You got guys that, that's why I said, we understand the life.
Yeah.
And I understand the treachery better than anybody now. Because, you guys all know, there's lawyers all over. Let a lawyer go look into my case and see if I ever got caught with anything physical, ever. They got me. When I went to jail years before I went in and out of jails my whole life, I got caught. I got caught with a gun. I got caught. They thought I shot somebody. I got caught then. I got caught at assaults. But this case that they just tried to hit me with a life bid, I didn't get caught with anything. It's all these guys ratting, and these guys trying to switch the story. And I'm talking about me guys, one after another. Well, Gotti, for people who don't know what Queen of the Day is, it's no fucking excuse. You call the FBI and ask them to sit down and talk to them to give up guys and talk about opening up a fucking prison. You're a rat. You can't change that. No. These guys were in prison with me when the phone call came. They'll tell you I didn't sleep for days. I said, I'm fucked. This guy's going to hammer me, give me 20 life sentences. And at the same time, his guys are giving me up. Made guys, captains, bosses, banana boss. I said, and they switched and said, I betrayed somebody. I never betrayed anybody. He's betrayed me. So the only difference is I'm not a sucker for you.
Yeah, you find the ones that always call the rat the rat.
Right. Yeah. I mean, listen, my mother's not on Google or internet, so my sisters, and, you got your sister on there because from what I understand, it's him under his own sister's name. And if it ain't you, and it really is your sister, what kind of fucking man are you? Tell her to shut the fuck up. Talk about herself, not about you, unless you talk about my business with her.
Or doing nails.
Did you sit down and tell her that we killed somebody or we were moving drugs yesterday in the days when we were doing it? Were you that weak too, that you told her that? I mean, I'm not sure where the fuck the girl's getting her information, if it's her or if it's really him. But the ability of the scratch they got to waste money to do this and waste their time. I travel around the world. I'm in Switzerland. I'm here. I'm there. I'm in Germany. I'm in, 15 countries. I'm busy. I ain't got time to sit on that internet and play these kid games with them.
Where's your favorite country you like being? Just to chill, just to actually just enjoy.
Well, I'm all over the world. I go to Denmark because Klaus is there. I go to Switzerland. I got some good friends there. And I go to my country in Albania several times. I have family and friends there. But I love the UK because I got my buddies here, and we can relate to each other. We know each other a lot of years, and we did some time together. So, and now, us from Brazilian penitentiaries, these guys are here with me. So, I got a lot in common here with a lot of people here. And, I got some
It's good you can see one another as well, because I'm not allowed in America. I got deported 3 times and banned for life. So I could never go back anyway.
They had him classified as a menace to society, and I was sending like Mission Impossible style teams through Canada and Mexico, bringing him back in.
Yeah, I mean, listen, but here's the thing. I mean, you guys have the ability in a different way than I do to let kids notice, there's a lot of suffering with this stuff. And that's really the message, right? Because they got to get the real deal of what goes on. So they, because when you're young, we're full of, we take all kinds of crazy chances and we don't think before we do things. And then later on, you regret it. Instead of doing things like what you guys are doing now, there's opportunities for kids to do this stuff. And there's opportunities for kids not to follow everybody's lead like a sucker. Sit on your two hands,
We just want them to know it's not as glamorous as it looked. And it's like, there was good times and there was laughs but it's not a life I'd give anyone. It's not a life I'd give me worst enemy.
No, and you guys at least were a group of guys who were friends and friendly with each other. I'm involved in an organization whose treachery is crazy. I mean, I just told you, so I never got caught. So let somebody explain when everybody's yelling rat, rat, rat. How the fuck did I get locked up?
We actually got lucky. We had 155 co-defendants. And there was only 3 people talked out of that.
Yeah, that was really lucky. I'm curious because we've only got drug felonies and we can't get in any fucking country. Yeah. How are you going all over the world? You want to keep that secret?
I'm special. You know what?
10 passports later.
Brazil just recently let me in and I had trouble getting in. But you got to remember, I go around from schools to schools. I talk to kids. I got a track record. Yeah, I've been doing it almost 10 years now.
You got an Albanian passport?
No. But I could get one anytime I want in Albania. And, so, what I'm doing is really, I'm trying to tell a kid, don't do what I did because you're going to suffer and you're not going to live a good life. And, people ask me, well, some of the things, like even when I came back from Brazil and they were, they got this kind of concept that I'm supposed to get life. And look at all the guys I shot and killed. And I went through numbers of them and my last interview, and I could tell you another 20 I did now. But extradition law was 30 years max. Coming back from Brazil, you guys know some of the stuff from extradition, and my friends know some of it. It's the most I could get. So when they sent me back, there was no more death penalty on the table, or they don't send me back, and I only get max 30 years. I did 2.5 years in Brazil. Actually, that credit should have been almost 9 years, just for that, because of the torturous time you do that. But when I came back, I could take a plea out, and the most I'm facing on that 30, because you're going to do about 25. I was supposed to get 9 years off on the 25, so I was supposed to do 16 if I went to trial.
I've got to watch what I say, because I can't really go back and say a lot of stuff what I've really done, because they can just have me back and lock me up.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I packaged my deal after Gotti ratted, so it was very simple for me. I should be thanking him. So people ask me, why'd you testify again? Well, I testified against a rat. I says, So, it's...
So even though there's no statute of limitations on murder, you can talk about your stuff.
Well, it's part of my plea, all of it. I blanketed it all. I put it in. There's nothing I can do.
That's clever.
Yeah. And, I made that deal back then and I live a different life. Guys try to bait me all the time. And I tell them the same thing. Listen, I'm the same guy. Easy for me to reach out. And actually, I probably got tons of guys, more than I used to have in every country. They'll do anything I want for me, anytime I want.
I was going to say, you probably wouldn't have to personally put hands on anyway.
Yeah. You know how many guys ask me, you want me to hurt God? You want me to kill that God? You want me to do this? And I laugh. And I said, let him suffer. He's got to look at himself in the mirror every day.
Exactly.
He can't bullshit. Listen, you guys are smart guys. Guys that have been involved in the street. He could spin that story all he wants. We were sitting in the penitentiary. These guys were with me. And he's making a meeting in 2004, 2005 to meet with the government, Queen of the Day. You're going to go in and talk to, what the fuck you calling the government and ask them to talk if you don't want a rat? And in our laws, you can't go in or you're a rat. You went in, made a deal, became Queen of the Day. And who the fuck knows how long you've been doing that for? We just found that signature on a couple pieces of paper. It could be years you've been doing that.
Then went round and called every fucking else rats.
And all I did now is, he's talking about doing this, that other thing. You did 300 people in your movie. Just shut the fuck up and go away.
Yeah.
You ratted. You're not fooling gangsters. You chased out of the neighborhood. You chased away from the mafia. You chased out of every country. Everybody knows what you did.
You got to wake up and
go away and shut the fuck up and act like a man at least and stop with these Instagrams and this nonsense. And aren't you embarrassed? Guys on the internet are calling you Diaper Don. I mean, So how do you stop the guy? Really? I mean, you got to say, you want to buy your own. Listen, he knows, guy looks in the mirror. He knows what he is. I mean, there's nothing else to say. So, you know, but when you look at countries like here with my friends that know me and they're in jails with me and they're, you know, from the streets and
You see through the
he's not
bullshit.
fooling anybody. Yeah,
No.
everybody knows he's full of shit. And, you know, we joke about the way he blinks, that he lies all the time because he blinks so much. And that's been since he's a kid, that was nicknamed. So, I mean, do something positive. Teach some kids something. I don't know.
Exactly, yeah.
They're not calling El Chapo's son Diaper Don after today. Going back to, I was going to ask you about the blowback, and you touched on it from Paul's murder. But a lot of people watching this wouldn't understand what you said about the chin. And could you just explain who the chin is, what the beef was between the two families, and what the retaliation was?
Well, you know, in a mob, you can't just hit anybody you want, especially a sitting boss. So any boss from any crew, unless it goes to the commission and everybody approves it, you can hit the boss. If you don't, the reason why they're so strict with it is because they could be the next guy getting killed. So Gigante was the boss, the Chin Gigante was the boss of the Genovese family. He was probably the most powerful family, even though you hear the Gambino family was. But Gigante had, and they were known to be a very quiet, powerful family. And Lucchese family, Amuso, Vic, also from Howard Beach, same neighborhood as Gotti, despised Gotti. And he was also very powerful, and he was aligned with Lucchese, with the Genovese family. So they decided on what Gotti did, obviously, was against Cosa Nostra law, and we're gonna hit some guys and make sure that they understand that we're gonna hit Gotti too. So they hit Eddie Lino, made guy for Gotti. Gotti didn't hit him, nobody back. They hit Frankie DeChico in a bomb. They didn't hit anybody back. They hit Bobby Borriello in front of his house. They didn't hit anybody back. They hit Joey Scopo, that Gotti placed as one of the acting bosses of one of the factions, the Colombo family. We didn't hit anybody back. So this was the rhythm of what the public and the kids and everybody doesn't understand. And then when he got in trouble, he blamed his Goomba was Angelo Ruggiero, and he fucked him and shelved him and blamed him for getting caught on tapes. Yet Gotti got caught on more tapes than him. And then when he got caught again, he fucked Sammy Gravano, and he blamed everything on him. And then he fucked Frankie Loke, and he wouldn't let him even defend himself or meet with his lawyer without him being there controlling the case. So Frankie got life. You know, so that's history. That's the truth. So, you know, on a personal level, you know, I could talk about the outside of the, you know, God family, and I always tell everybody the same thing. I don't want to do that. I'm talking Cosa Nostra. I'm not talking about, you know, like him, like a little bitch.
Yeah.
You know, so that's him that does that stuff, and that's why he's not man, and that's why people don't respect him. But on the other hand, at least his father was a street guy. At least his father was a gangster, and at least his father, maybe he wasn't, you know, good at what he did, because he really wasn't. You know, the media needed somebody to be a sucker, and he raised his hand.
He was a lot more real than his son, though.
No, he's a street guy. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
his father went to the same high school as me, Frank K. Lane, Brooklyn. The kid was born with a little silver spoon in his mouth. And then when Daddy left, his own sister wrote an article in 1992 that my brother doesn't have the stomach for this life and he can't do it. And then he filed 1 million papers against me when I came home from jail. You know, he filed it with my parole. He filed it with the FBI. He filed it with Washington, D.C. He had his sister file. They all filed that I'm going to kill him. So, and then he wants to talk nonsense. I ain't going to kill him anyway, but what are you filing all these papers for?
Yeah.
And then you filed when you're on the courthouse steps and you said your life's in danger. So just go the fuck away. No one cares where you're at. No one's paying attention. And stop this nonsense calling yourself a boss, because that's a fucking joke. You know, you got put in a position because your father was in that position, and your father happened to take down not just the mob, he took down his whole family.
It's almost like a child attention seeking, isn't it?
Because he ain't, you know, he never got there. You know, he just doesn't know what it is to be a man. If you watch a weak guy that's like him, he stays with all weak men. And I'm not talking physically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got friends that never got into a fist fight and they're the biggest men around. So I'm talking about gentlemen men that you can have a conversation with. He stays with clowns, complete clowns, because he wants to feel like strong. He wants to feel important in front of him. I stay with men.
Yeah.
And those men make me more of a man because they're intelligent, tough guys, whatever, businessmen, you know, guys that you can respect.
Equal, you don't think any better of anyone else. You're on an equal.
Only an insecure guy stays with guys like this. You know, it's an
Yeah.
insecure quality. You're not fooling anybody. You can't get on an interview. Ask them to do a show with you. Please come and I want to ask you some questions. You want to ask them that, did you say on YouTube, I only ratted on my enemies? Well, I definitely ain't his friend. So did you go and make Queen of the Day? He can't come talk to you because who's he going to bullshit? You're going to hammer him. You're going to say, what the fuck you talking about? You went in and you made a deal. You became Queen of the Day. Yes or no? Did you say, I said it a joke on I don't know how many interviews and shows I did. He says he only ratted a little bit. I says, well, I got that broad pregnant just a little bit over there. I said, fuck are you talking about? You ratted. You had the ability to give me 3,000 years.
How'd you do it? Just a little bit? You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
And these guys will tell you that, these guys were away with me when they heard me on the phones. And I was trying every escape plan there was out of Brazil Penitentiary when this guy was talking. I said, I'm fucked here. And then you got other captains saying if I'm not nice to Johnny Alite, that he's going to kill me. What kind of statements are these guys making?
Yeah.
Well, you're allocuting to positions in the mafia. You ain't allowed to allocute. What, do you change the laws? Now you're allocuting, and you're allocuting to the existence of the mafia. So when it's convenient, everything changes. Or what Jeannie Gotti did to Joe in jail, you disrespectful fuck. Joe never fucked with you. Joe didn't have an ego. Joe was a quiet guy. You ain't going to turn that around at something. There was too many guys there. Persico was there, the boss of the Colombo family, his brother Teddy. There was I can name a million guys there. So.
Probably the respect from the whole mafia's gone, haven't they? Because there's that many people who just talked.
And when you have that many people talking, you lose the structure. When you have guys that don't belong in that life, you got there was some nice guy kids, Vinny Butch, Corallo. These guys got straightened out in my house. He's a nice kid, I guess, big kid, good looking kid. He's running around with Gotti. You got no business. You ain't a street guy. What the fuck you doing in there? What's wrong with the father? What are you making this kid for? But this goes on day and night. Or I had a kid, I talk about this other kid, Bonanno skipper, Ronnie Giolenzo. I call him a punk too. I mean, he set up one of Gotti's brother-in-laws for me. And then after I left him there from the street for dead, this idiot picks him up and takes him to the hospital. Who's a rat? You just set him up. What kind of gangster are you? You got scared he's going to die, so you don't want to get blamed with me? And then you want to call me a rat?
So he took him to the hospital?
Yeah, he took him to the hospital. I said, and I said the message after that. I should have chopped this fucking kid's head off. You setting a guy up, who the fuck are you taking him to the hospital? Now that ain't a rat. So you just want to sell pills and you want to sell weed and you want to sell whatever, a little coke, and you want to run around with a crew of jerk-offs and say you're a gangster.
But if the police come for anything serious,
if they picked him for that, he was going to give me up. I was amazed that he took him. I go, why the fuck did you take him? Because they thought he was going to die. Who gives a fuck? I said, that's why I left him there.
Yeah.
But how do they change that? I don't know. It's mind-boggling. If you want to be a gangster, that's what you do.
So you said when the Chin was retaliating, Gotti was absorbing the blows. Was his game plan just sacrifice these people, I'm the boss, absorb the blows and ride it out, not go tit for tat?
Listen, exactly. He was going to throw anybody under the bus to keep himself out there. And listen, we're in this room. It's being recorded, right? We assume every room's recorded. Why the fuck am I going to blame every crime in the world on you? Why am I talking about it? Just because I know if it's bugged, I say, see, listen to those tapes. I didn't have nothing to do with it. It was him. I mean, there's nothing else to say here. We're not working on Wall Street. We're not bankers. The fuck you talk? Our laws, when you commit a crime, they're not supposed to be spoken about, especially a murder. It's a death sentence. Mm-hmm. So when he brought up these murders, what's that about? I want somebody that's a historian to tell me what's it about. I want them to tell me why isn't everybody writing this? Why are they sending a false message of the history of the mob? Because some guys in the media wanted to build up this guy to be what he was, but that's not reality of who it is. Would you want him to be your boss? Would you want him to be your boss? Who's going to want him to be your boss? When this is what a real boss, a guy that stands in front, he takes the weight. He's the one that's doing all the shooting. He's the one going, okay, you're at a certain position now, and your days are over, but you never were a shooter before that. And you stole a position because you had a lot of friends, without a doubt, that were fucking very loyal to you. Johnny Koenig won. And the reason why I like Johnny is because he was a nice guy. He drove around on boats and bikes, and he had a good time. He wasn't want to sit in the club all day. And that little bitch Gotti Jr. stealing all his money when he went to do 50 years because of his father. You're stealing the guy's money. And then you got a brother that's fucking you because he's all high and he's too weak to handle John. And then, these guys want to know where's the loyalty. There isn't going to be. I was supposed to kill Gotti Jr. See, the brother Pete Gotti, even though I like him, he was in the package, and the brother-in-law Carmine. The same guy that gives me the guns, Charles Koenig, gives me up. That he gives me the guns for $700. So when people ask me, well, didn't you testify? Fuck yeah, against the guy that just gave me up on a fucking triple homicide I was going to do, because he's a junkie. He's not his brother. He left his brother suffering in jail. His brother couldn't get a favor out of me. He had to come to me through him or through his adopted son. That's the reality of what these kids got to know. And I like Johnny. I still like Johnny. I don't know what his sentiments are, but he knows his brother was weak.
When you get away with crimes for years, there's a degree of arrogance. We were joking, we're above the law, we're never going to get caught, all this kind of stuff. So Gotti goes to all these trials. He's got this killer legal team, gets named the Teflon Don. Do you think that just fed his ego and made his guard slip, and he spoke more to give more evidence up?
No, because he beats these cases because Sammy takes the reins and tells us all how to get to these juries. We're all in on it. Sammy's the one running the show, but we're all part of it. And so John knows he's going to sit there. He's got his chest out because he ain't going to jail because Sammy took care of it. So everything Sammy saved his life how many times? Sammy has the power. Sammy has the guy. Sammy's making the money. So you're fucking jealous of Sammy and you're trying to fucking hammer Sammy. And listen, the rest of the mob, when Sammy testifies, they can blame Sammy all they want. Here's what I'm going to say. The same thing I said to these guys when I was in prison. Well, you guys are gangsters. This is the Gambino family. Why didn't you fucking kill Gotti Sr.? And Sammy wouldn't have to talk. He had cuffs on him. He's in Manhattan jail. Never had a chance to get free because Gotti just hammered him on a fucking 1,000 tapes. Kill Gotti. In jail, kill him. And it's the same thing with Junior Gotti. I'm sitting in the penitentiary. Why the fuck he's killing him? Aren't we the Gambino family? Isn't that what we do for a living? So when it's time to kill these guys, why aren't you killing them? Because they got that name? What the fuck does that mean to me? So that's the realistic part of the mob. And the realistic part of Sammy, he's got to be frustrated as shit. And all these guys, whoever he later on implicated or whatever, it's their own fault, because when Sammy was on the street, he was taking care of business. Why didn't you take care of it for him? And you left him desolate. It's not like you had a chance to go kill him. And you know how many guys are in prison? You give guys never getting out. You guys know. Hey, give them $1 million. Hey, the family Gambino gives you $1 million to your family. Hey, you're near Gotti in jail. Yeah, stick them up. Stab them up, kill them. Why didn't you just do it? When you want to be the mob or you want to be fucking Girl Scouts? You have a choice. These days it's different. I understand that because of technology. It's not the same. There's cameras everywhere, there's cell phones everywhere. It's a little more difficult. But in those days, not at all. It was easy.
We're not offering $1 million, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not worth $1 million.
I give you 10.
Give you the 10.
Yeah.
$50 bag of heroin in Arizona prison, isn't it?
Yeah.
Take you out. What made Sammy the Ball such a good underboss?
Because of what you guys said, he didn't have an ego. He was humble. He was, he was quiet. He didn't run around yelling and, he did the work. If he didn't do the work directly, he made sure somebody else did the work. And he was a big fucking earner. And he had a great crew of guys around him. So he had the whole package. And, he got a real bad fucking, and he spent a lot of time later on in jail. And I think a lot of that is, because of what happened in his past, and he got hammered. But he conducted himself different. I said it from when I was a kid. When I first met him, John tried to intimidate me, which he did intimidate me. I was a kid. I won't say he didn't intimidate me as a kid. As an older guy, I was a little smarter. And I looked at him different, and I looked at him like most guys looked at him. You probably want him dead. But Sammy didn't try that with you. He looked at you, he said hello. He didn't try to scare you off. He didn't try to intimidate you. He was secure with himself. So it was a different human being. And, you get guys in those positions, like Vic Musso was in the neighborhood, and he was that type of guy too. He was okay. He wasn't one of those guys trying to intimidate anybody. He went about his business because he was secure in his life, and he was a fucking killer. So he was no soft guy. So these guys were legitimate killers, guess, but maybe because John wasn't one of these guys. There wasn't a killer like that he had that insecurity complex. I'm not sure, because I didn't have those discussions with him, but who the hell knows? I'm not a psychiatrist. But some of these guys, that's why I say when you talk about Sammy, people hear me talk about him. He got a bad shake.
What was your first meeting with Sammy like?
Just a long goodbye in 80, something like 84 or some shit. I see. But, we're always at the clubs. We're always in You know, we're always at the Bergen or the Ravenite, and you hear this nonsense. Well, there's no pictures of me in a Bergen. You know, I hear all this dumb shit from people on the internet, and I'm like, because at the trials they played a video of me at the Ravenite. At the courthouse, I'm picking up Gotti Senior in Brooklyn. At his house, I'm coming out as fuck. How many pictures you want from me? I'm not fucking George Clooney doing a show.
Exactly.
You know, so and the nonsense, and you know, these are people that don't know the life or the Gotti, you know, ass kisses or whatever. But if you understand the life, and guys in every crew understand this life, and it doesn't matter what family or you know whether it's New York mobs to Chicago, Philadelphia, whatever. We understand one thing, right? We understand that you make an appointment to see the FBI, it's done. You're a rat. Finished. And I've said over and over again, and the son tried to open up the Bronx House of Detention. You know that, right? Get the paperwork, and he admits it. He was going to open a jail to put all these guys in jail and make money off us. That's even worse of a rat. So, you know, and he admits it. So I don't even know what these conversations are about. I'm in a penitentiary in 2005 trying to save my life with these guys. I says, and we're getting information one after another. These guys were all giving me up. You know, it's not, you know, if I didn't want to go nowhere, I would have saved my millions, about 35, 36 million at the time, my houses, my nightclub, my parking company, and I wouldn't spend a day in jail. And I would have never have to leave my family. That wasn't my choice. My choice was to be loyal to Cosa Nostra, be loyal to my enemies, and be loyal to my friends. And in return, they all fucked me.
Did you feel like very betrayed?
Yeah, I was betrayed, but you know what? You know, like I said, listen, I don't give a fuck. I got a new life. I moved on. I try to tell kids don't follow the same shit that I did because look what this. You know, here's an example, here's an example, here's an example, and move on with your life. I had a crazy life. You know, I moved around from country to country, getting chased all over the place by Interpol. I got guys trying to kill me at the same time. I'm trying to save my own life, trying to save money. All my good friends betrayed me. And somehow the story got mixed a little bit here. But this guy's a lawyer. It's very easy to say, did this guy get caught with anything? I never got caught.
Now you can go country to country freely.
Yeah, I mean, some countries don't let me in, despite what you guys just joked about earlier. I can't get in Canada still. I'm trying to get in Canada. They won't let me in. There's a couple others, and I won't mention because I don't want them not to let me in anymore.
I don't think so. There's not a whole lot in Canada anyway, apart from bacon.
I got some family and friends there, and you know,
you?
yeah. So I'd like to see them. I got a good friend of mine that does a TV show there. That,
I used to go over the border from Canada, Niagara Falls, to Buffalo, New York.
Yeah. I went there, Buffalo, New York. I couldn't go on the other side.
So people are fascinated by the inner workings of the mafia. So say John wanted someone killed, how does that go down the line?
If I wanted somebody killed, John?
If John Gotti wants to have somebody killed,
John,
as the boss, how does it go down?
It depends on who it involves. So let's just say it involves somebody that Sammy could get in there, he's going to go to Sammy first with it. You know, when we killed Louis DeBono, I'll give you an example, Sammy really didn't have that much information of what happened with Louis. You know, he didn't know that hit went to Gotti Jr. as a first hit as a captain, and then John brought it to me. And then we had a discussion, me and John, with Bobby Borriello, and from there, you know, he gets hit. So that's one hit. It depends who has the access to a guy, and you try to keep it close knit as much as you can, so it's not in 10 different people's hands. They killed one guy, I forget his name, offhand, Jewish guy. It might have been Weiss. And I don't know how many guys got hit with that murder. I think that was that murder. Like 10 different guys got conspiracy to get to murder. It's the most ridiculous thing because it's not like people think. There's not that many guys out there doing these shootings. You know, everybody thinks everybody in the mob's a killer. It's not even close to accurate.
What's the preferred method to take someone out?
It depends on the guy and the individual too. I mean, if it's me, you're going to hit him first. I'd rather hit him to the body if he's moving because that's going to slow him down. Then you put a couple in his head. But if you have him like you have some guys, you just shoot him a couple times in the head because you always got to hit him with a headshot. Make sure you're going to finish him. Guys make that mistake and they leave them live. And sometimes those guys that have lived, they're coming back and they're killing those same guys. So, you know, it's when you're going to do your work, you got to do it precisely, and you got to do it like a professional, really. And, you know, people say, well, it's cold. Well, it's the truth of what we were doing. So it is cold.
Yeah, I met a guy in prison. I wrote his life story, and he was a banana associate, went out to Alaska and formed his own clique out there. And he said that his preferred method was right in here. So
Ice pick.
the skull, just shooting them so the skull doesn't circumvent the bullet. So when you say in the head, did you have a preferred part of the head to shoot him in?
Nah, if you're going to shoot him, you shoot him 2, 3, 4 times. And it doesn't matter where you shoot him in the head. If you're shooting him that many times, he's not getting up.
From close range, that is.
Yeah, I had an idiot guy that was with me once, and he told me, I think he's alive still after, a couple of days later. And I'm like, oh, you can't be this fucking dumb. But there are guys that it is dumb.
Yeah, in Arizona, they had us do the concealed weapons permit classes. It was actually cops who taught us how to kill.
Well, yeah, actually, I went and shooting. That's who taught me how to shoot. I used to go shooting range in Florida.
Yeah.
There was an ex-cop that taught me how to shoot.
So for home protection, of course, they taught us this. Shoot them in the chest and the head.
Yeah.
And then you got the heart
Always,
and the
yeah,
brain.
yeah. It's always a body shot.
So did it ever, other than the one that you described then, were mess ups during these hits that things just got really out of control? And
guys will talk about whether it's a murder or whether it's a robbery. It's not set up properly, meaning you're getting bad information. So say John asked me to kill somebody and I bring it to you because it's somebody, you got to give me the intel. So you tell me this guy's at this location and there's only 2 people there. Well, there's 4. You tell me there's no alarms, there's an alarm. You tell me there's no dogs, there's 2 dogs, 3 dogs, 5 dogs. You tell me there's nobody else in there, there's no women or children, women or children. And this happens a lot because you're getting guys that are idiots. And, a lot of these guys aren't good at what they do, or they're scared and they don't really want part of it, but they got no choice. So it just depends on who you're bringing with you, and you better know who you're bringing with you.
If it's children, would you abandon it?
If I know there's children wearing a killing?
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I don't have any bad,
You got to have morals like that, haven't you?
No, I don't. I don't have any bad murders like that. I don't.
Yeah.
When people ask, I don't have anything. I never robbed or killed anybody in an armored car. The guys used to ask me, I say, I ain't doing it. I didn't sign up to kill regular guys, man. I don't care who calls them what names and he's a cop. I don't give a fuck for that nonsense.
No.
To me, I don't look at nobody like that. Never did. Not then. Not now. If he's a
you're
gentleman, he's a gentleman. He's a
you're
regular
safe,
person.
aren't
Regular person. Yeah. I ain't judging anybody what he does for a living. But if he's a gangster, to me, yeah, he's open.
Fair game.
But when I used to do home invasions, drug dealers, I tell all my guys, you fucking kill anybody here, I'll kill you. Because it's not necessary. You can control the room if you're good at what you do. You don't have to kill anybody. You don't even need to shoot anybody. But if you're going to shoot them, you better not kill them. And they knew that from me. I never killed anybody on an armed robbery and nothing. And I don't have any killings like that. I don't have any shootings like that. When I go after somebody, my shootings are for what I want accomplished, whether it's to kill them, whether it's to hurt them, whether it's to, butcher them. So,
yeah.
so if you go on a job and there's 4 people instead of 2, do you abandon the mission or do you improvise?
it depends. Gotti gave me an armed home invasion of a doctor that was beating his wife in Florida. And the cousin, John DiGiorgio, who was another guy that was an informant on a drug case, and it's Gotti's first cousin on the mother's side. So when he gives us the hit, the robbery, excuse me, he leaves out the part that he's sleeping with the doctor's wife. That's first. Second, he leaves out the part that it's across the street from a police station. Third, he says the guy's got $1 million in cash and doesn't tell me he's a doctor. Doesn't tell him. Fourth, he's supposed to have guns for me. He didn't have any. He's supposed to have a car for me. He doesn't have that. I went with 2 guys from Brooklyn, Court Street. They were around Bobby Borrello's, Kid Stevie and Joey, Spanish guys. Nice guys. And when we get off the plane, they say, we ain't doing it. And I said, no, we're doing it. And they said, no, we ain't doing it. I go, Steve, Joe, we're down here, we're doing it. Don't worry, I'll get in. We'll do it. And we end up doing it. They weren't happy about it. And, I tied the guy up. I wrapped him up in a carpet. I cut the carpet off the floor, actually. Brought a straight edge razor. And didn't go in with a gun because the idiot didn't have a gun for me. And he had a dog. He told me there was no dog. He had an alarm at the police station, everything I just said. I still tied the guy up. The guy was begging me. He goes, I'm a doctor. I don't got that kind of money. I knew as soon as he said that this motherfucker, Gotti's cousin, is fucking the wife.
Personal,
and,
isn't it?
And Gotti is too stupid to find out himself the details. And that's not the first time. I did another armed robbery of Colombians, 4 kilos in Queens. His other guy, Vinny First, he left me in the house. One of Gotti's other guys, another guy, Frankie Finelli. I did another armed robbery of a major car ring Guy
Left you
came
being
on,
run off.
ran off. Frankie Finelli, another one of Gotti's guys, ran off. And a guy, Chicky Alito, told Gotti, get rid of this guy, and made Guy, nice guy, tough guy, actually. Him and his kid, and Gotti betrayed them, and they stood away from Gotti. But these are some of his guys. These ain't my guys.
Yeah.
My guys never did that to me. But these are weak guys that, you know, they shouldn't even be in this life or pretending to be in this life. And every one of these guys left me.
You never run off, don't leave another man in there. Yeah, that's just like...
And they just, you know, the guys, like I said, you know...
There's no point in even turning up if you're going to do that, is there?
Your button's going to get pushed in this life, no matter what. And they're going to see if you're going to hold your mud or not. And if you can hold your cheese. And, you know, these fakers, they ain't making it. I mean, if you're in this life, it's going to happen exactly what happened to me. You're going to get battered. You're going to get beat up. You're going to get stabbed up. You're going to get shot. You're going to do all kinds of time in jail. These guys will tell you I fought left and right in Brazil penitentiaries, knives, everything else. So when guys want to fake it, I've stabbed guys all over the place in the street. That's part of it. And you're going to get it. You're not just going to give it. You're going to get it too. Mm. And, you know, it's unfortunately, that's the life. And
it's not a one-way street, is it?
No, it's not one way unless you're going to choose your spots, and you're a complete punk. And you're going to go with 10 guys all the time against 1 and 2. But that's not reality. When I got stabbed up, I went in against 5 guys. So I knew I was going to get it. But, you know, I wanted to accomplish what I wanted. I wanted to get one of the guys.
In hindsight, would you have done that again, or would you have done it differently?
You know, when I talk now, it's like I'm talking about a different guy.
So I say in hindsight.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. But, you know, when you're younger, you're a little more wild.
Yeah.
You don't think as much. As you get older, you get a little smarter. You handle things a little different. You're a little more patient. And, you know, as I got older, I learned patience. I mean, I waited 9 years to kill one guy. I waited 6 years to get another. I waited about 5 to shoot another guy. So I waited. I learned. And in jail, when we were there, you know, I waited to get a guy. I paid a cop to get over 4 cells to stab a guy up.
What had he done?
And him and his friend gave up things we were doing in jail. So one of them was on the street. And so I got to him, and, you know, but you got to be patient. And, you know, it's part of it. And so you learn, again, you got to learn that, you know, what you're given, you might get back. And guys try to hit me on a daily basis. So guys were always trying to kill me.
How many times have you been shot?
Just once.
Just once. What was that?
And
story?
it wasn't. It was just a drug deal. And when they pulled on me to rob me, I really didn't think the guy was going to shoot me. And I said, "Get the fuck! You ain't shooting nobody." And he shot me. So
where did he shoot you?
Yeah, he shot me in the hip only, but he could have killed me, you know. But he just didn't have it in him. And, you know, and he took the money, and I just shook my head like, this is my own fault for being a jerk off. But I really didn't think. And
he probably only shot you out with fright, though. He probably only shot you out with fright.
Yeah, you know, listen, it's part of the life. I mean, listen, I laugh about it now because at the time I was more steaming. I got stabbed, and I was really hurt. Yeah. But actually, when I got shot, it went in and out, so it didn't really, it wasn't as bad as you would think. I would think it would be a lot worse, but with the stabbing, it was bad. But, you know, it's part of it. Listen, after they stabbed me, they baseball batted me, they hit me with a car, they did everything. So, you know, and then, you know, I got caught out there a couple of times where if it was a different guy, I'm lucky it was a more serious guy, because if you get caught with more serious guys, if you get caught by more serious guys, they finish it. Mm-hmm. You know? And so, you know, a couple of times I was lucky, and then I had a crew of guys who were trying to kill me for years, and they were serious. They killed a lot of guys, and I went after their guys, and America's Most Wanted guys. And
which crew was that?
Gene Eady crew. Vito and this kid, Frankie Fordello and Tabita. And these guys were wild. I mean, there's some wild kids out there. You know, so when I talk about some of these guys like Ronnie G, these guys ain't tough guys. Some of these other guys were tough kids. They were killers and the shooters, and young gun kids, the Antonucci brothers, and another kid, Kevin, that's doing life. He's, you know, they grew up with me, and, you know, tough. Another kid, one of their guys, they killed him, Marty. These guys were out there shooting, killing. And whether you like them or not, they were tough guys. But some of these other guys, you know, you talk about, these guys ain't real. They're fakers. They
were actually living it, though. They weren't talking about it.
Yeah, they live in a different era. If they lived in our era, when everybody's shooting and killing, you know, everybody's dead in my era. You know, so.
How wild was the Mayo's crew, and what did they get up to?
Well, the Mayo's crew, if you crossed in the wrong way, you know you were going. If they pitted you, and Gotti knew that. Gotti didn't go nowhere near him. Gotti knew that if he wanted to kill, he was finished. So, You know, he was a serious killer. All his centers and testers, his whole crew of guys were serious fucking guys. And that's what you're talking about, real killers, not the bullshit that you got some of these young kids now that talk all that garbage.
So they were running a slaughterhouse, basically.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you ain't, listen, if they were tagging you as the number, you're going. Yeah.
You said you ripped off some Colombians. Were they weak Colombians? They
They tried to hit me. They tried to hit me after that. They came laying on me at a bar, and someone caught the move, and they called me. And I was walking up past my house, and they opened fire, machine gunned on me, and then I went back after them. But they didn't know where I lived. They just knew the car. And somebody told them the car was, actually, they almost hit my brother by accident. Because they went there, and they said to him, "Are you Johnny?" And he looked like me. And he went out to them, and he was like, "Nah, I ain't Johnny." "Do you know who he is?" He says, "No." And he's like, "All right." And he went back to the bar. And somebody else told me they went. And I said, "Oh, they know the car." Because when we did the move, I went through somebody, and I parked the car a couple blocks, but I didn't think they knew the car. I had a brown Caddy at the time. And then I parked it around the corner from my house, and they laid on the car. So I went towards the car, but I knew they were looking for me. So I kind of set it up that way. I put the
So
car
that's why you didn't park outside your own house.
I got rid of the car after that. And,
Yeah.
you know, after a while, they came around, and I just laid low for a little bit. And I tried to clock them. They moved from where I made, you know, when I did the heist. And I did it with counterfeit money. Besides, I mixed it in. Gotti was involved with that. But after that was, it slowly went away, and they never came back. They moved off. I used to do business with some serious Colombian guys. The kid Henry, they killed his father. He was involved. And when I went on a run, I had some friends later on, cartel guys that helped me move from country to country. So I had some hooks outside the country. I wasn't a typical guy. I moved around a lot out of country.
Do you have nightmares about any of this stuff?
I don't sleep good. I don't really have nightmares, but I don't sleep well at all.
PTSD, anything like that?
Yeah, I got PTSD. I was diagnosed with it. Somebody made a joke about it, and I'm like, all right, you know, you want to fucking joke around about it, you know, then you don't understand it. Guys that were in the army, they understand it. Guys that seen a lot of killing in action in different way, you know, whatever they did for a living, they understand it. So some idiot made a comment about it, and so if they don't understand the reality, I mean, listen, I don't give a shit what anybody says anyway. But
I sometimes wake up, I go right up like that, and I'm sweating and hot sweating. I can't get my breath. It's like almost like I'm panicking. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get a lot of lightheadedness and stuff where you don't want to move, and people say, "Well, you seem pretty normal." I mean, listen, it's relative to your existence, right? You can be normal, but there's times like if you ask me to sit here and talk to you tomorrow, maybe I'll say I can't do it. You know, so it's just it's part of life. Yeah, it's, you know, I deal with it like anything else.
People watching this are going to be like, "Why didn't you ask him for a full Brazil prison riot story?" Can you run one of those down?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I can, and you know, we're working on something. A group of us of doing something with a television series. We're in the middle of a couple of negotiations with different people on what went on in Brazil, and some of the guys and around the world with friends with us, and some of the guys from the UK that helped us while we were there. So, but there's a lot of stories out of Brazil, but one of them was the Secretary of Defense actually came into Brazil Penitentiary. I caught a beating, and they wanted to move me out of the prison. And my lawyer says, "Listen, they're taking you out to a hospital," because it hit the newspapers and everything. I told my lawyer, "You ain't fucking moving me nowhere. And tell them there ain't nobody moving me out of here, or we're going to have another riot inside the jail." And these guys knew that. And they, you know, I got beat up pretty bad. And I said to my lawyer, "Set up 10 guys. I'll pay them." You know, my lawyer, I was sending money left and right. And I'll pay you all 10 guys, but I want guys that are good with guns. I want them to follow those trucks when they take me out of the prison. So I make sure they don't kill me on the way out and dump me. So we got in touch with, you know, different guys. They got carloads of guys, military, ex-military guys that we hired. And they brought me out to a hospital, but it wasn't for about 3 weeks. And when they see me get out of the paddy wagon, they say, "Well, his face doesn't look bad." He says, "Fucking 3 weeks later." I mean, I got beat up. These guys, I got beat pretty good. But, you know, this is everyday business with us. And, you know, part of that is at the same time, the warden that was running the jail, he and his assistant warden had the warden killed. And this is part of what was going on there. And one of the new wardens came in to see us. We were downstairs, and he's like, I'm going to work with you guys and stop corruption. And we told him, listen, you're a nice guy. Get the fuck out of here. We don't want you to stop corruption. And you're going to get yourself killed, because he was an ex-chief of military police. Anyway, a couple of months later, he's trusting it. At first, he wasn't trusting the assistant warden, who was acting warden now. He was walking his kid to school, and they killed him, military. And he didn't listen. We told him, listen.
Trying to do good.
He didn't understand the money that was being made through the system. And he didn't understand how many guys were involved. And this is Brazil. So that's just some of what we went through. And, when they brought the Secretary of Defense to talk to us, they wanted statements out of us. And we all said the same thing. No matter what they say, tell them, no, we got no problem here, and we don't know what you're talking about. And that's what we all stuck to. And they interviewed us. And I guess they brought guys like equivalent to CIA or FBI or something.
Yeah.
They were black suits and ties. And, they're sitting there listening to us and acting like they're in our favor. And we all know if you open your mouth, maybe they're going to take us out the back room and shoot us. You don't really know what they're going to do there, because guys were getting killed left and right.
You're not accountable over there, are you? I mean, they could just kill you.
Listen, they were raping inmates. The guards were raping inmates, like crazy there. So, one of the guards that we had on the payroll was crying to us one day. He was drinking with us. We paid him. They brought us pizza. We're all hanging out. And he starts crying. And we're like, what's wrong with you? And he says, I can't do this anymore, because they were upstairs at the same time raping a couple of guys. And we told him, and he was part of it. He's crying. So what the fuck you crying? What are you raping them for? He goes, they made me because they didn't trust me if I didn't. So this is, but this was everyday life for us. But at the same time, we're bribing our cops that we got on our side. And we're controlling them through our guys, and we're also threatening them. And we're getting information from our cops.
You're getting what you want to know.
Well, some of them, we're getting information where they live, their families.
Yeah.
So we're threatening them back. And then at one point during the riots, I don't know, it was all over the news here in the States, I believe also. During the riots, some of the guys that we're involved with, they're ordering murders of cops that were killing guys in the street and in jail. So when they're answering their door, guys are killing them. I mean, we're not behind it, personally, but we know of it. And guys that are in different factions in jail with us are letting us know this is going to happen this week. So, and then they accuse me of causing a riot with the bomberos and the police. Federal police and firemen that were locked up were in our prisons. And there was a riot, and they accused me as being the leader of these corrupt police and firemen that we were the riot, and they shifted me out to another jail, Bangu 2, which is another penitentiary, and I got a good beating as a welcome there. I guess the warden told that warden to hurt me. So, I mean, but all of us, these things are typical for all of us guys that were there. When, O was there a little longer than me. I believe he was there almost 4 years. So, Klaus was there a couple of years. I was there a couple of years. This was everyday life for us. And then there's days when we had some fun. I mean, but we made it, and people ask you, listen, we had a good camaraderie of guys, and we stuck together, and we paid our way, and we fought our way, and we bribed our way, and we did whatever we had to do to survive. And so the situation with us was up and down, and it was volatile always. And, it's our lives day and night there on risk. I can't even tell you, how dangerous it was.
How many prisons have you been in? How many years?
In Brazil, I was in 3, and then that holding, so 4. In this country, United States meaning, I was in Philadelphia, New Jersey, California, and Florida, and I was on rounded jails. I mean, total, I don't know, 35, 40 jails. I've been everywhere.
So in Arizona, it's all the racial gangs. How did your crew fit in?
In the States?
Yeah.
Or in the States, listen, I had a lot of friends. I grew up in a neighborhood, and, guys know I have a lot of black friends. So, I never had a race as far as I look at skin. Most guys like McKee in prison, I think I talked about this recently. The blacks eat on one side of the mess hall and the whites on the other side, and the Spanish ride mostly with the whites. I used to sit with my friend Butch on the black side always. And maybe other guys might have said something to somebody else, but I grew up with them. We were friends, we were tight. And I never looked at color on the street now. I got a lot of black friends who grew up with me. I just don't like racism either way. If it's black against white, white against black, Spanish against Spanish, I think everybody should judge each other for each other. So, the same way we were in Brazil. All of us guys, we were from every country, every race, and we stuck together. No one gave a fuck what race you were. And, I grew up like that from my parents' belief of the way they raised me. So they never had no color thing with them either. Their friends, one of their best friends were black, and their daughter was my good friend. And
Why do you do that in America? I think it's because they think it's tough in numbers. Beyond me.
I just don't like when groups, whatever group it is, goes against the weak number of group. You know, so
it always happens. The biggest group, like the blacks, will get with the Chicanos, and there could be a small majority of blacks in, say, like Arizona. Now, if we were in Philly or somewhere like that, it'd be completely different.
Yeah.
But it was a small minority of blacks. They'll start kicking off of them.
Well,
and you just think, hang on a minute, you see them all lined up, and there's like, I don't know, about 800, and there's like 40 blacks.
Yeah.
It's not even fair, like, is it? You know what I mean?
Well, jail's geographic. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, this kid from Philadelphia, Joe Mecca, he was a big kid, 6'4", benching 500 pounds. And a little skinny black kid knocked him for a loop, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the guy, Joe, had a big mouth, and the kid knocked him, but then a couple of the black guys jumped in to jump him. I just got out of the bucket myself. I was in a hole for another fight. I'm walking up the tier. The last thing I want to do is stick up for Joe because I really think he's got a big mouth. But I stick up for him because this guy's jumping him. I don't care if it was the opposite. He was white and it was 4 black guys or 5 black guys. Or if he was black and it was 4 white guys, I would have jumped. If he was my
fight, it was unfair.
Right? So I jumped for him and I fought this guy, Muhammad. And Muhammad was probably about 270, 280, and he was about 5'10". And afterwards, we go to the hole, and he said, "John, I thought you were my man. I thought you were my friend." I says, "We were friends, but I ain't let you do what you just did. You jumped in. First off, the skinny kid fucking whacked him. You didn't need to jump in." I said, "Second, ain't happening, because then the next guy walks up the tier. It may be me, and everybody thinks okay to jump him." I said, "You guys know the rules here. You know, I don't got to teach them anything they don't. They already know." And there's a friend of mine, Terrence. He's another guy that was there. He was a black guy that happened to walk in a family pizzeria that we had, and he was telling a story. He didn't know it was me in there. He just happened to be telling one of my old partners the story, and he says, "That's John, man. He's right there." And then I came out and I was hugging Terrence and all his brother. He's got a big family. His friends and cousins were telling the story. Say, "Yeah, this guy will fight." And to me, it didn't matter the color. It just mattered that, it just ain't the right way to fight, man. If you want to fight, fight. But don't do it that way. I mean, there's times when a guy deserves 2 guys to kick his fucking ass, or 3 guys or whatever. But on a one-on-one, something like that, keep over nothing, keep it one-on-one. He was beating him anyway. And Joe ain't no fighter. He's lifting weights, and it didn't help him because this skinny kid fucking took it to him. So, In
Arizona, it's good to know where the shanks are buried. But it sounds like in Brazil, you needed an artillery in your cell.
In Brazil, we did have an artillery. We constantly, were moving around weapons. And, listen, machete, you got to have a machete, but machete's not good enough. You need guns. And in those jails, we had everything that we
Well, you're not plugging a machete, are you? You got these people in America plugging the shanks, like.
And, there was riots there. Guys got shot. There's different things. But we had guards. The most important, there was some really close guards with me, this guy Santana, and he stayed loyal to me from jail to jail. I was just talking about him yesterday with the guys, and just a real good guy, and it wasn't about money only with him. Because later on, when we had trouble, he stuck with me. And when I went for another prison, the money was dry, and I had problems, and I was serious trouble.
I had one of my friends was the guard in the tower with the big gun.
Yeah, I mean, we had the towers. We used to go out like once a month. We were out, and it was not a yard. It was rocks and shit and dogs. And we were like, you have to be in your underwear with no shoes. So you're naked, and we'd walk a little, and they had the gun towers, and they shoot at the walls above us all the time if you're too close to here or there. And there's bullet holes all over the walls. And, we were talking about one time, me, Klaus, and and a couple of guys, about blowing up one of the back walls to escape, because you get out. The problem was we didn't know how to coordinate it, and then we didn't know how to control those tower guys, and we were trying to figure it out, and we never did that one. Some of these we tried on a regular basis.
If there's a shakedown, do you have a special place to put the machetes and the guns?
Yeah, we were talking yesterday. We used that in the shitter on the ground. We'd get one of the kids that had no money, and we'd take care of him, let him use phones and stuff, and we'd wrap his hand in plastic and shoot the guns and the cell phones in the shitter all the way to the back. The machetes, we dug it under one of the concrete beds.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly how we did it underground. I don't remember, but we left some machetes there and a pistol under there. And the shitter really was the main spot for the phones and the weapons.
How easy was it to corrupt the guards in the American prison system?
No, a little harder, but it could be done. And I got to the guy Kimmel. I used to call Kimmel Flash. Yeah, Flash was, I don't know if his name was Kimmel actually, but anyway, the guy we call was Flash. But I knew when I got to him, Danny Marino was a captain in the Gambino family. He okayed the guy Charlie Ray. Charlie Ray was a snitch, and I told my friend at the time, Nino, don't trust nobody. It's just for you. I'll get you the stuff. You want to give it when you're out, but don't tell him where it's coming from. And he told us Charlie Ray because Charlie was approved by Danny, and he set everybody up, and he got a woman agent to come into the jail. And so maybe it was about 12 or 1 o'clock at night, and he didn't have my telephone number. So somehow they got my father's number, and I happened to be there. My father was sleeping. He says, John, it's an emergency. Some guy's on the phone, Flash. He said, I knew right then he was taping the call. I said, this guy's pinched. And so they got me for that. And when they surround my house, they come surround my house. This guy Sweeney, he knows me since I'm a kid. Big agent, 6'6". Nice guy, actually. He actually talked up for me to get me out on bail. When they lock me up, when they surround my house, they're all over the place. I got 12 dogs, and one of my dogs almost bit the guy or bit one of the agents. They're on my roof. They're all over. And I'm like, oh, I'm fucked. So when they bang on the door and he says to me, I says, what am I being arrested for anyway? So I'm thinking it's murders, right? So he goes like, oh, that's it? All right, no big deal. Because I said, oh, this bullshit, because they came strong, so I figured when they came like that, it's, they come at 4 or 5 in the morning. And
you think it's something like very serious, wouldn't you? Like murder, like you said.
Yeah, I thought it was something serious like that, and it wasn't. And it was no big deal. I mean, I got violated. I got charged, and then I got violated also. And so I went in, I got out, I went back in for a couple of months again.
How close did the Mafia work with the police, politicians, judges?
There was a Mayor Milan from Camden, New Jersey, that was hooked up big with the Philly guys. And so I had some information back and forth about property and whatever. I didn't know him good. But when he comes to prison, he's in the same prison as me. And I go see him in the music room and I'm talking. I go, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, dawg, just stay away from me. And I laughed. I said, you stupid fuck. You should have said that to us before you got pinched. Now you need me. So I used to say to him, I used to go break his balls once in a while in a music room. I go, stay in the music room. I said, you learn your lesson now. He goes, fuck, I don't know what I was thinking.